Hello YouTube. So it's a private interview with me. Me being me, and me is me. Me is me. Okay, so what I think is going on in the world. I believe that there are sneaky Aussie people denying that they're Aussies, learning our Kiwi accent, and they're sneaking over to the South Island, interbreeding into the country or whatever, and then they're sending their children out to be nurses or something, and they're knocking off Kiwi people for their blood because they have grandmothers, and they want to pretty much, they've got a lot of these women that are in their 50s and they're all menstruating. They've got that thing that they get where they menstruate in their 50s and they're thin, low on blood, but these ladies are nurse trained, so they know you can get blood from old people, find out what blood type it is, and you can pretty much give yourself some blood. I don't know that for sure, but the clear signs are that they're knocking people off at 80 years old. First they bribe them with a few lunches, and then they lure them in on the daycare and say that they've lost the plot. But these 70-year-olds, they are in touch with the other side. Now, I know that for sure because a lot of miracle healers can do that. The shadows that you see above, they aren't just gold and blue and nothing. It's all the matrix, all visible and tangible. And once you become dead and you become part of that plasmatic field, you can move within that field. This is actually the way that the camera decides on fluctuating the energy in which it does its depth of field, and it tries to form imagery over those pixels based on space. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit deep into this field of dreams. I have had some fucking trippy shit in my life. Now, sorry for swearing. That's a nice way to describe it. Exaggeration with swear words makes phonetical impression. Okay, so it seems to be getting dark for some reason. Spooky. So it's daytime, but my flat with a curtain shut is like that. Plus I don't really want to show my face. Okay, so I had a dream. I get these acid spikes when I have too much sugar. Sugar is non-conductive. If you put sugar in some water, and you put 2 electrodes in, you'll find that not a lot of electroplating will happen and not a lot of chemicals will form because of the non-conductiveness of it. But if you put salt in that water and dilute it, it will become a perfect arc. A little imperfect, but it produces gases. Okay, and it forms chemicals. So anyway, so knowing the conductiveness of salt, diabetics have the word dia. So what is dia? Well, if you get a magnet and it connects, that's magnetism and conduction and connecting. But diamagnetism is where you get magnets and the dia material runs away from the magnets. So that's like if you get pencil lead. It is very diamagnetic. It won't magnetize, but then you get this opposite polarity repeller field matter, which is a dia that doesn't like any form of magnetism. So there are these guys going around making Ormus. Ormus is O-R-M-U-S, and Barry Carter thinks that he invented that. He discovered it somehow. But the moral of the story is that it's dia. So diabetics is dia as in non-conductive. It's because they've had too much sugar. But the thing is, sugar is sucrose, So it's one of the croses or the toses or whatever, the oses, like lactose, glucose, maltose, fructose, and whatever oses you have left, right? Maltodextrose, but the maltose, and the glucose is for the brain. Yet they constantly say bread bloats you up and you get allergies to it. Right, so I found out from swearing at a man at a museum that he was going to kill everyone off with a new disease called diabetes, and he was going to get everybody interested in lollies and sugars, and he's going to buy a big Coca-Cola company, and he was part of the museum, but he died. But before he died, he wanted to get a message through to me. He got the message through to me, but like fucker did I remember it. All I remembered was that he had rotten fish in jars, and he was going to make these pills that were made of chalk and made of ink, but mainly made out of rotten fish. And rotten fish has an effect on people. It's a food poisoning effect, but it damages your pancreas because of the bad digestion. He found out that if you go and eat dead things, it kills off parts of your digestion, parts of your chemistry, and gets right in there. And bacteriums and germs and whatever it is, they affect your insulin. And he found that out by putting rotten fish in with pills, getting people to consume it. And the opposite of rotten is fresh, so fresh raw goods. If you eat raw Swiss chard, spinach, baby spinach, or raw lettuce, has to be quite strong. There's this watercress stuff. Lemons or beetroot is helpful for urinary tract infections. Ginger is well recommended because some of it has not really to do with diabetes. Sometimes you get these people making these yeasts and they try to put it in your body and force your body to try to become a yeast farm. But what neutralizes yeast is salt, because yeast needs sugar. So salt is the cure pretty much. If you get rashes or anything, salt is the answer. It tempers all the rashes. In the Bible it talks about salt. Ye are the salt of the world. Well, they're actually saying salt is the cure for everything. They tell you lies about your arteries thinning from salt, having too much salt. Too much of anything is bad for you. And it's about the dream. Every time I get close to neutron field with the magnet, I flip it around so the negative draws in and brings life into me and puts positive into me. Then I positively charge and my atoms all charge and I glow. But the thing is, when I flip it, I drain out all the radiation and all the energy fields, and I feel all my spine, which is designed to heal us in every way in all our organs. They drain and they turn off, and all the switches switch off. So I learned that the pancreas has on switches and off switches, and the absorption of sugar has the same thing. So I know the real cure is magnetron magnets. You stick it on your belly button, keep it there, and wait, and close your eyes and try to feel the drain, and that's switching off. So what the problem is these sugar goes into the doorways of breakdown, and insulin's needed to help them absorb. But because sugar's all dried up chalk and just a lot of blockages, no real nutrition anymore, they've sucked out all the life out of it, you're trying to get concrete through your body. It doesn't work. So if you have sugar, make sure it's a natural sugar inside a fruit. You know, the Garden of Eden was the first place where food was made, and it was all meant to be absorbed naturally and not been refined and dried out and left with only chalk. See, so there are switches on all things in our body. The urinary tract even is a electric switch. You can electrify to switch it on or switch it off, but you have to train that gate.